All right, my next guests tonight are about to perform in London together for the first time in many a year. They have a huge fan base. You'll undoubtedly know their music, but probably not all their names. And when they used to perform together, they sometimes wore masks. We'll find out why in a moment. First, let's take you back to the 1980s and a musical movement known as the art of noise.
Think I better dance now.
You're all dancing now, aren't you? Well, 3 of the founder members have now reformed and have a gig coming up at the British Library later tonight. But in the intervening years, they've all been busy. And Dudley won an Oscar, no less, for the full Monty film score. Jeczalik became an IT teacher, and Gary Langan produced albums for the likes of Spandau Ballet and Queen. And JJ and Gary all join me now. Thank you so much for coming in to see me, especially when you're going on stage in about an hour.
An hour and a half.
We're not really watching the time.
I'll keep this short. Anne, you have had such tremendous personal success. What's it like to get the band back together for this?
Oh, it's fantastic. We did this because the British Library asked us. They've got this season of sound. They're celebrating 140 years of recorded music. And they thought that we were pioneers of electronic music of the 80s, which of course we are, and asked us if we'd like to perform. So what could we say but yes?
And what do you think it's going to be like, Gary?
It's going to have lots and lots of echo going on. It's a fantastic building, but it has a very long reverb time to it. It's like playing in a cathedral. So we've never played in an environment like this, not that we've done too many gigs. So we'll find out later. It's going to be a surprise, I think, for all of us.
How about the nerves? How are you holding up there?
Oh, nerves. It's all a matter of focusing them on the points of interest and just remembering that it's important not to miss one's cues.
I have to ask you.
Yes.
I don't know who to ask. I'll ask you, shall I? About the masks.
Oh, the masks.
What was with them? Why the masks?
We've always been quite contrary. And in the 80s, pop music was dominated by fashion and the look of things, Spandau Ballet, New Romantics. So being a contrary bunch, we thought, well, we won't play any of that game. We'll appear with masks, so we'll never be fashionable, which means we'll never be unfashionable either. I think it was a good move.
Yeah, much like Sia, she's copying you now, isn't she?
Well, there you go, you see, we were ahead of our time.
Trendsetters.
We were so far ahead of ourselves that, you know, we only just caught up.
What do your students make of the fact that... Do they believe that you were in this incredible
Well,
band?
they did. I had
these incredible hits that, you know, that get sampled all the time. You know, it's not music that was of its time. It's still being used in different ways.
It is, thankfully. And I got to say that when I was teaching, that I did never mention it, but I had a couple of colleagues at school who would actually go onto YouTube and play videos that we made in the 80s. And the students would come along and ask me, and I was pretty upset about it, to be honest, because it had nothing to do with what I was doing at the time. But that was then, and here we are now. So there might be 1 or 2 of them in the audience.
And Gary, very briefly, from your point of view, you've worked with some of the greats. You mentioned Spandau Ballet and Queen. What will it be like to work with this great... Not all of you, because we won't mention the other 2 that are missing for tonight's performance, but to be back together?
This is the core of the art of noise, and it's really good that it's now just the 3 of us back together and performing. It's something that we haven't done for 34, 35 years, and it's just being the 3 of us because we have had other people involved in the band at various points. So it feels really good to have just the 3 of us back.
I've got to let you go. You've got to head over. Short walk to the British Library.
Short walk.
Have a fantastic time.
Thank you
very,
Thank you
very much
very
for coming in. Thank you.